So let's talk about a couple of coaches and a couple of teams that did not make the playoffs. We want to know which coach is more desperate. Would that be Jay Gruden of the Skins or Sean Payton of the New Orleans Saints? Of course, Gruden just fired defensive coordinator Joe Barry. Payton just dismissed 5 assistants, including Joe Vitt. Who's more desperate?
I'm going to go Jay Gruden on this one just because he doesn't have the ring. Obviously, I think Sean Payton is feeling the heat right now. That's why he preemptively got rid of 5 coaches, because I think he feels the seat underneath him warming up a little bit. I think, obviously, when you look at the Saints and the way they've underachieved these last couple of years, he's definitely looking around and looking over his shoulders, but he's delivered something that no one else was ever able to deliver to the city of New Orleans, and that's a Super Bowl championship.
And you get a lot of equity with that, Dylan.
Do.
Like, I don't think Saints fans have forgotten what the euphoric feeling was like of winning a Super Bowl. And before he came, they had like 1 playoff win in like 30 years before Sean Payton came. And of course, what they've done, winning 6, 7 playoff games. Like, I think he's set. I think his leash is a lot longer because of their Super Bowl ring.
Plus, you look at it, let's be honest about the roster. Let's look at it from that standpoint and maybe put some onus on the front office and the general manager a little bit. What have they really given Sean Payton and Drew Brees to be able to succeed and compete within that division? The defense is trash.
Yep.
They've made trades to send away some of their premier players.
Including a Jimmy Graham.
And then, you run around with Willie Snead and some of these guys they're fine.
Brandon Cooks, that's who we got?
Good players. But certainly on the other side of things, that front office and Daniel Snyder, the owner of Washington, really providing Jay Gruden with every opportunity to succeed. I love the idea to franchise Kirk Cousins to kind of prove it a little bit more before we back the Brinks truck up. Let us see what you got here. And they're in a position right now where it's kind of tough to figure out how they feel about Kirk Cousins. But beyond Cousins, they bring in Josh Norman. They try to get some help in the secondary front to help them curtail other teams' passing attacks. They're all in. They're all in for right now. They felt like this division was wide open to win, and they did not do so this year. Now, they go and they win the division last year, and they wind up losing to the Packers in the playoffs. I think that gives Gruden a little bit of equity. But for me, I think they wanted to see further success. They wanted to see a team that won the division last year and take that and build on that, especially while welcoming him in a top-tier defensive player like Josh Norman. All right, cool. We got to the playoffs. Now we're going to get even more tools to get further into the playoffs. The fact that they missed the playoffs, you get that tie in there this year.
Had a chance to make the playoffs if they won the final game, right?
Who had nothing to play for.
Absolutely.
You got to give the Giants credit for going out and playing their guys and making it competitive, but you got to win that game.
Hands down.
It's at home.
Hands down.
And you have all to play for, and your opponent has nothing to play for, and you lose that game head up. That's a very disappointing way to end the season, and I think has Jay Gruden starting next season on the hot seat and more desperate than Sean Payton. Because frankly, he hasn't delivered a ring yet, something that Payton has.
We'll certainly see how it plays out in the nation's capital, also in the Big Easy.